Welcome back to the Deep Dive. This is the show where we really look at the economic shifts happening all around us, and we try to pinpoint the companies that aren't just getting by. We're looking for those truly flourishing, the ones disrupting things.
Absolutely.
Because let's be honest, the old ways of building wealth, finding stability, they seem, well, pretty shaky these days.
You see it everywhere.
Fiat currencies feel strained, the standard 9 to 5. It can feel more like a cage than a career path for a lot of people.
Definitely. There's this push, isn't there, to find something different.
Exactly. A real, almost urgent need to seek out innovation, those forces that are fundamentally changing how we live, how we work, how we learn.
And that's where we come in.
Right. Our mission here is to equip you, our listener, with the insights to navigate all this, to spotlight businesses that offer, well, not just vague hope, but a real blueprint for building wealth now.
A tangible path forward.
And today, we are diving deep into a company that perfectly captures this spirit. Duolingo.
Ah, yes. Duolingo.
This isn't just about learning a few travel phrases, is it? It's a huge example of how making a real social impact and achieving, frankly, staggering financial growth can go hand in hand.
They're completely intertwined in this case.
And to help us unpack every single layer of this really fascinating company, I'm joined by my colleague, our guide today, who's waded through, well, mountains of research to give us the clearest possible picture.
It's great to be diving into this one. And I completely agree with your setup there. Duolingo, on the surface, it might just look like another app on your phone for learning languages.
Right. Pretty straightforward.
But as we dig in today, you'll see it's really a masterclass in using tech to democratize knowledge globally on a scale we haven't really seen before.
Democratize, that's a key word.
And in doing that, they're creating enormous value, both for users, who are, let's face it, often learning completely for free, and for shareholders. So yeah, I'm really excited to share why Duolingo is such a compelling story, especially if you're interested in empowered learning and, well, generating wealth.
Fantastic. Okay, let's unpack this then. Let's go back to the beginning. Duolingo kicks off in 2011, co-founded by two really visionary guys, Luis von Ahn and Severin Hacker.
That's right.
And initially, the idea seemed, well, simple enough, right? Language learning app. But the big question for us and for you listening is, how did this seemingly simple concept just explode? How did it become this absolute powerhouse, serving, what is it now? Over 128 million monthly active users by mid-2025.
Yeah, the numbers are staggering.
That kind of growth, that sustained exponential curve, it's not luck. There's something fundamental driving it.
There really is. And the brilliance of Duolingo, the engine behind it all, it's deeply rooted in its origin story, especially when you look at Luis von Ahn's personal journey.
Okay, tell us about that.
So Luis grew up in Guatemala, and in Guatemala, access to really high-quality education wasn't, and often still isn't, a guarantee. It's more of a luxury.
Right. A familiar story in many places.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He saw firsthand how these systemic barriers just stopped so many bright, capable people from reaching their potential, simply because they couldn't afford tutors or textbooks or even just basic schooling.
So it wasn't just an abstract problem for him?
Not at all. It was deeply personal. And that experience forged this incredibly strong mission: make education free, make it universally accessible for everyone. He really understood that knowledge is power, and that power was being unfairly kept from so many.
And he had the background to actually do something about it, didn't he? He wasn't just an educator.
Oh, absolutely not. Luis is, well, he's a fascinating guy. Long before Duolingo, he was already a computer science pioneer, a genuine hacker, in the original positive sense of the word.
Right, the problem solver sense.
Precisely. He invented CPCHA, those squiggly letters you type online. That was him. Initially, just a way to protect websites.
Okay, I knew CAPTCH, but I didn't connect it to him.
And then he took it further. He created RecapTCHA. And this wasn't just security. It was genius-level crowdsourcing.
How?
Every time you deciphered those RecapTCHA words, you were actually, unknowingly, helping to digitize old books and newspapers for Google.
No way, really?
Yeah, it was this massive global human computation project hidden inside a security check. He eventually sold RecapTCHA to Google for, well, a significant amount of money.
Okay.
And that's the money he used to bootstrap Duolingo. See, it wasn't about chasing profit. It was about taking his intellect, his resources, and aiming them squarely at a problem he cared deeply about: educational inequality.
That's incredible. So the funds came from this earlier brilliant invention that was already sort of crowdsourcing knowledge.
Exactly. There's a beautiful symmetry there. And then he teamed up with Severin Hacker.
Severin Hacker, right, the other co-founder.
Yes, a Swiss computer scientist.
Yeah.
PhD from Carnegie Mellon, which is where they actually met. Severin brought that deep technical expertise and, importantly, shared that same passion for using technology for good.
A power combination.
Absolutely formidable. And together, their core mission was crystal clear from day one. Make learning fun, make it engaging, make it accessible to everyone, everywhere, for free. That's been their guiding principle all along.
And how did they translate that mission into the first product?
They started with language learning, and what they did was truly revolutionary at the time. They took something often seen as tedious, memorizing vocabulary, grammar rules.
Flashcards and drills.
Exactly. And they turned it into this addictive, game-like experience. We're talking bite-sized lessons, 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, things that felt achievable.
Manageable chunks.
Right. And then the daily streaks that built this amazing sense of accomplishment and kept people coming back day after day. Consistency is key in learning, right?
Totally. It builds momentum.
And, of course, the mascot, Duo, the green owl.
Can't forget Duo. He's everywhere now.
He became this friendly, sometimes slightly pushy, but ultimately motivating companion. This whole approach just made learning feel less like work and more like, play.
Yeah.
And it struck a chord globally.
Clearly. Then came the IPO.
Yeah, after years of just massive organic growth. They went public in 2021. And since then, they've really doubled down on expanding that vision. They've moved beyond just languages.
Right, you mentioned music, math.
Music for ear training, math focusing on K-12 basics, and even chess, which has been a phenomenal success for them.
Yes, wow.
It's evolving into this, comprehensive digital school. Structured, engaging learning, but without the old school bells and, frankly, the boredom.
So if we bring this back to the listener, von Ahn is kind of an OG crowdsourcer. He used human intelligence to solve big problems, first with books, now with learning.
That's a great way to put it. He masterfully leveraged collective human effort and engagement. His journey really shows how a deep personal mission, combined with serious ingenuity, can genuinely empower millions. And in doing that, create massive value. He literally hacked the system, not just for himself, but to give everyone else a shot.
It's a really powerful origin story. Purpose, experience, genius. It's all there. And you use that word again, empowerment. I've heard Duolingo describe using this phrase, digital Montessori. Now, I'll admit, I'm not an education nerd.
Fair enough.
So could you break that down? What does digital Montessori actually mean for our listeners? And why is it so important for Duolingo's success and this whole theme of empowerment we're talking about?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a great question because this concept really gets to the core of why Duolingo works so well. So simply put, Maria Montessori's philosophy, which is over a century old now,
Right.
it fundamentally challenged that traditional sort of factory-style schooling. Rote memorization, rigid curriculum, teacher at the front lecturing.
Passive learning?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Montessori championed self-directed learning, letting individuals explore at their own pace. It's all about hands-on engagement, learning by doing, and crucially, getting instant feedback, but without judgment.
Okay, no red pen marks and shame.
Precisely. Mistakes aren't failures. They're just part of learning. The goal is real understanding and developing this intrinsic love for learning, not just cramming for a test.
So how does Duolingo translate that into an app?
Well, they do it brilliantly in the digital space. Think about a typical classroom. It often moves too slow for some, too fast for others.
Yeah, someone's always bored or lost.
Right. Duolingo's lessons adapt dynamically to you, to your individual learning style, your pace. For example, if you keep messing up, say, Spanish verb conjugations.
Guilty as charged.
Well, the platform notices that pattern. It sees that specific gap, and it intelligently gives you more targeted practice right there until you get it. It's not just grading you, it's constantly analyzing how you learn and giving you personalized support.
Like a patient tutor.
Exactly. And unlike maybe a stern teacher, there's no shame in getting things wrong. You get immediate constructive feedback, a clear way forward. It fosters understanding, not fear of failure.
And you said this ties back to von Ahn's experience.
Directly. The limits of traditional, often under-resourced education he saw in Guatemala, that one-size-fits-all approach, it stifled curiosity. It locked people out. Duolingo is his answer. It unlocks access by respecting the individual learner.
It sounds almost philosophical.
It kind of is. It resonates with ideas from thinkers like David Deutsch, from the beginning of Infinity. Deutsch talks about unbounded knowledge creation.
Okay.
It's this process of making bold guesses, testing them, learning from the errors, and constantly expanding our understanding. Duolingo is that in practice. You guess an answer, you test it by getting feedback, you learn from the error. That's how real knowledge grows.
As opposed to just memorizing facts.
Exactly. Which is what that factory-style schooling often promotes: conformity, standardized thinking. Duolingo's model, though, can scale globally. It could potentially free billions from those old constraints.
The potential impact is huge then.
Massive. By making learning accessible and even fun, it could accelerate innovation, economic growth, just by equipping people with skills they can use to build their own futures.
And for our listener, the connection is.
For you, this whole self-directed, empowering approach fits perfectly with this modern need to build personal wealth, to break free from old systems that just don't serve you anymore. It's about taking control of your learning and, by extension, your financial future.
That connection between self-directed learning and taking control of your life is really potent. Okay, let's shift gears slightly. Market disruption. Duolingo clearly turned language learning upside down. But what about the broader education sector? Languages were the entry point, but now they're branching out. What's the strategy there? And critically, how big is this market they're playing in? The TAM, the total addressable market, just how big could this get?
Yeah, that's the logical next step, isn't it? They started by disrupting a very specific but already huge market. Global language learning was easily a $50 billion plus industry even before they arrived.
And the old options were limiting.
Often expensive. Private tutors, clunky desktop software, costly immersion programs. Most people couldn't access those. Duolingo just smashed those barriers. Mobile first, free to start, gamified. Suddenly, billions with a smartphone could start learning Spanish or Japanese just 5 minutes at a time.
True democratization, like you said.
Exactly. But the really exciting part now is the expansion. They're not just a language app anymore. They're becoming this comprehensive, personalized learning platform.
Music, math, chess.
Right. Music lessons, teaching fundamentals into your training. Same bite-sized approach. Math, focusing on K-12 basics, making numbers engaging. And chess. That launch was apparently their fastest growing ever. Hit over 1 million daily users in Q2 2025 alone.
1 million daily users for chess. Wow.
It shows the power of the platform. This isn't just adding random subjects. It's leveraging their core strengths: gamification, personalization, mobile access, to become the go-to place for basically everything you learn outside formal school, and maybe even to supplement it. Their AI is getting so good, it's like having a personal tutor who knows you incredibly well.
Okay, so let's talk TAM. The numbers. How big is the potential pie here?
Right, the TAM. The numbers are, well, frankly, they're staggering, and they really show the runway ahead. Just looking at their current areas, language learning is about $60 billion globally now.
Okay.
Their Duolingo English test, that certification piece, adds another $20 billion or so.
Right.
Then you add in their other informal EdTech stuff: languages, music, math, chess. You're already looking at a current TAM of around $100 billion.
$100 billion, that's already massive.
But that's just the ton of the iceberg. Seriously.
Go on.
The long-term potential is where it gets truly mind-blowing. They're planning to expand into foundational subjects. Think science, coding, history.
The core school subjects, basically.
Exactly. When you factor those in, the potential TAM in personalized lifelong learning could easily blow past $300 billion.
$300 billion.
And put that in context. Total global education spending is something like $6 trillion. Duolingo is smartly focused on digitizing and democratizing the accessible slice of that enormous market.
Yeah. And how much of that accessible market have they captured?
That's the kicker. There are over 5 billion potential learners worldwide who could use Duolingo. 5 billion. And despite their huge user base, they've barely scratched maybe 3% of that total potential market.
Only 3%.
Barely. And with AI speeding everything up, that growth potential is just... it feels almost unbounded.
So the takeaway for the listener here is...
The takeaway is simple. Duolingo is playing in an absolutely immense sandbox, and they've barely started digging. The scale is astonishing. They are just getting started on what could be an exponential growth journey for years, maybe decades.
Mind-blowing feels like an understatement. Those numbers are incredible.
Yeah.
The crucial question for anyone looking at a disruptor like this is always the moat, the competitive advantage. What stops someone else from just copying them, especially now with AI? What makes Duolingo's moat so strong?
Right, the moat. That's the key to long-term success, isn't it? And Duolingo's is exceptionally deep. It's not just one thing. It's this powerful mix of factors that makes them incredibly hard to beat.
Okay, break it down for us. Factor one.
Factor one, and maybe the most important, their data. Proprietary data and learning insights. Over the last decade plus, they've run something like 16,000 A/B tests.
16,000.
16,000.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that scale. Meticulously designed experiments, tweaking everything. Lesson difficulty, vocabulary presentation, button colors, notification timing.
Yeah.
You name it, they've tested it.
To see what works best for learning and engagement.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This massive data set from hundreds of millions of users, it's like proprietary gold. It gives them this almost scientific understanding of how people actually learn most effectively online, what motivates them, what makes them stick around.
And competitors can't just replicate that overnight.
No way. You can't replicate a decade of granular, real-world learning data from millions. It's a unique foundational asset.
Okay, data's number one. What's next?
And number two, brand power and network effects. These are huge for Duolingo.
The green owl factor.
Definitely the green owl factor. Duo is iconic. Duolingo is basically synonymous with language learning globally. It's the #1 EdTech app worldwide.
That brand recognition is massive.
And what's even more amazing is that something like 80% of their users come from word of mouth, organic growth.
80%. So they're barely paying for users.
It's essentially free marketing on a global scale.
Yeah.
It drastically cuts their acquisition costs. Then you add the network effects within the app.
Like the leaderboards and stuff.
Exactly. Leaderboards, friend reminders, competing with others.
Mm-hmm.
It makes the platform incredibly sticky.
Yeah.
You stay because your friends are there. You don't want to lose your rank.
Yeah.
The more people use it, the better it gets for everyone.
Right, classic network effect.
Yeah.
Okay, so data, brand network effects. What's the third pillar of the moat?
Third is cost advantages and switching costs. They're using AI very effectively now to automate content creation, lesson generation, exercise variations. That drives down costs and lets them scale faster into new subjects.
Makes sense. And switching costs. It's mostly free, right?
The switching costs aren't really financial, they're psychological.
Yeah.
Think about it. If you've built up a, say, 365-day streak.
Oh, yeah, you don't want to break the streak.
Exactly. You've invested hundreds of hours, you see your progress charted out. The idea of ditching all that effort and starting over on some other app, it's a huge disincentive. You're invested emotionally and with your time.
Okay, that makes sense. Data, brand, switching costs. Anything else?
Yes. And this is the point that really drives home their elite status, their execution. Let me give you a comparison that should really make you pay attention.
Okay, I'm listening.
Duolingo is one of only 2 companies out there with a market cap over $10 billion that also achieves revenue growth of 35% or more and has positive free cash flow margins.
Okay, 35% plus growth and positive cash flow at that size. Who's the other one?
NVIDIA.
Get out. NVIDIA.
That NVIDIA. The AI chip giant powering everything right now, being in the same league as NVIDIA on those metrics, that puts Duolingo in an exceptionally elite category. It's proof positive of their incredible execution, their efficiency, their fantastic business model.
Wow. Okay, that NVIDIA comparison lands hard.
Yeah.
So summing up the moat for the listener.
For you, our listener, what this means is you have this combination. Unparalleled data, huge brand loyalty, strong network effects, high psychological switching costs, and truly elite financial execution. It all adds up to this incredibly strong defense. Duolingo is remarkably resilient and strategically dominant. They're just very, very difficult to beat.
That's a compelling case for the moat. That NVIDIA stat is something else. And you're right, all this comes back to execution and this fanatical focus on the product, on engagement. But I heard something interesting recently, sort of an insider signal maybe, that they're changing how they even talk about design internally, moving from user experience UX to product experience PX.
Yes, that's a fantastic point and is such a telling detail.
It sounds subtle, but maybe significant. What's going on there?
It is significant. It's a perfect window into that deep, almost cult-like obsession they have with building the best possible product. It really speaks volumes about their internal culture and why their engagement is, like you said, just unstoppable. Mig Reyes, who was their head of UX.
Right.
Well, he's now head of product experience. He made an official announcement on LinkedIn. They were formally ditching the term user experience or UX and adopting product experience, PX, instead.
PX design. Okay. For those of us not deep in the design world, that sounds interesting, like less focus on the user as a separate thing, more focus on the product itself being the experience.
That's exactly the thinking.
I bet that caused some ripples in the design community.
Oh, it definitely did. A huge debate kicked off. You know, is this genius, the visionary shift? Or is it just semantics, maybe a marketing gimmick?
Right.
But Duolingo's reasoning is crystal clear, and it cuts right to their core identity. They are fundamentally a product-led company, full stop.
Product-led. Okay.
Their core belief, proven out by their success, is that the absolute best user experience comes from having an amazing, perfectly crafted, deeply engaging product. The product is the experience.
So the product comes first, in a way.
In a way, yes. They pointed out that internally, their roles were already product-centric. They have product designers, product writers, product managers. The term UX, they felt, started to feel a bit antiquated, maybe too narrow for their intense, holistic focus on building the actual product.
So it's more than just changing a name, it's a statement.
It's a huge statement. It's them saying internally and externally, we win by having the most delightful, the most engaging, the most effective product out there, period.
So just to be super clear for everyone listening, this doesn't mean they don't care about the user.
Not at all. It's actually the opposite in their view.
How so?
It's recognizing that serving the user is serving the product. If you perfect the product, make it engaging, effective, delightful, the user experience naturally becomes fantastic as a result. The two are one and the same in a product-led model.
The product is the main interface with the user.
Precisely. You nailed it. So obsessing over the product's quality, its stickiness, its effectiveness is the ultimate form of user focus for them. We've seen similar things elsewhere, like DX for developer experience in tools for programmers.
Okay, that makes sense. So as an investor signal, what does PX tell us?
For you, as someone watching for signs of a really healthy, focused company, this PX shift is incredibly telling. It signals this near fanatical commitment to their core strategy. It shows their internal culture, their whole way of operating is perfectly aligned with their market success. This deep obsession with building the absolute best thing, iterating constantly. That's why their engagement is off the charts. It's why their user growth seems unstoppable. It's like a secret weapon embedded in their company DNA.
That alignment, that fanaticism, that's often what separates the great ones, isn't it? Okay, so incredible product obsession, check. Clear mission, check. Massive market, check. Now let's get down to brass tacks, the results, the proof in the pudding. What does the execution actually look like on paper? Give us the hard numbers, the key metrics that show they're delivering.
Right, because talk is cheap. But Duolingo's numbers, they absolutely back it up. Their execution is basically flawless, and the metrics just keep coming like an unstoppable drumbeat.
Let me just rapid fire some Q2 2025 data for you.
Hit me.
Revenue, $252 million. That's up a massive 41% year over year.
21% growth at that scale. Wow.
Exactly. Accelerating growth. Monthly active users, MAUs, 128 million, up a solid 24%.
Okay.
But even more telling, daily active users, DAUs, they jumped an incredible 40% to 48 million.
40% DAU growth. That means people are really sticking with it daily.
Huge engagement and retention. People are coming back every single day. Then paid subscribers, the monetization engine surged to 11 million. That's a 37% jump.
Converting free users effectively. Very effectively. And here's a number that really speaks volumes about their health. Free cash flow margins. A super strong 36%.
36%. Explain why that's so important again.
That's the cash left over after all operating expenses. It means they're highly efficient, self-funding. They can reinvest heavily in growth without needing outside cash or taking on debt. It's a sign of real financial strength and independence.
Got it. And this isn't just one good quarter, right?
Not at all. It's consistent. Their 3-year average revenue growth is around 42.5%. They shifted to overall profitability back in 2023. And importantly for investors, they are reliable. They consistently beat their own guidance. They consistently ship new features every quarter. Always improving, always delivering.
No random spikes, just steady, strong performance.
Exactly. It's a clear pattern. And it all comes back to that product-led growth strategy we talked about.
Build something great, and they will come and pay.
Precisely. These fantastic numbers are the direct result of building something delightful, engaging, effective. People love it. They find it valuable. They pay for premium features. Users flock to it. They stick around. The business thrives. It validates everything about their strategy.
So the takeaway for the listener, they walk the walk.
They absolutely walk the walk. Duolingo doesn't just talk potential. They consistently deliver outstanding results quarter after quarter.
Incredible numbers really paint a picture of a company firing on all cylinders.
Yep.
But we have to address the elephant in the room.
Ah, yes. The AI elephant.
Exactly. AI, tools like ChatGPT, Google Translate, they're getting scarily good. There's this fear out there, isn't there, that advanced AI could just make language learning apps obsolete. Is this an existential threat to Duolingo? What's von Ahn saying about this? How are they handling it?
It's the critical question, no doubt. Yeah. And Luis von Ahn has tackled it directly, very clearly, very confidently. His take from a recent earnings call is super insightful.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think it completely dismantles the bear case here.
Okay, what did he say?
He put it really simply, but profoundly. AI is a tool, not a product.
A tool, not a product. Okay, unpack that.
Think about it like this. A dictionary. A dictionary is an amazing tool, right?
Yeah.
You can look up words, get translations, definitions, incredibly useful.
Sure.
But does a dictionary teach you a language? Does it build your fluency, develop conversation skills, give you practice, motivate you? No, it's a reference.
Right. It doesn't provide the learning process.
Exactly. And that's how they see AI tools like Google Translate or even advanced LLM tutors. They're powerful aids, no question. But they don't provide the structured, gamified, engaging learning journey that Duolingo does. Real language learning is complex. It needs active practice, motivation, a curriculum, not just a quick translation from a chatbot.
So Duolingo provides the structure, the motivation, the pedagogy that AI tools alone lack.
Precisely. And here's the kicker. Duolingo isn't running scared from AI. They're mastering it. They are proactively, strategically using advanced AI like GPT models to enhance their own platform.
How are they using it?
They're using it for super interactive role-play chats, personalized tutoring features, even virtual video call practice in their premium max tier.
So AI is making Duolingo better.
Absolutely. It's making the learning more immersive, more personal, more effective. And internally, AI is speeding up their content creation, cutting costs, making them even more efficient, letting them expand into new subjects even faster.
So they're leveraging AI, not competing against it directly.
They're leveraging it brilliantly. And think back to their moat. In the context of AI, that moat looks even stronger.
How so?
All that data, 10+ years of it, 500 million unique exercises, those proven teaching sequences from 16,000 A/B tests, that globally loved brand, the idea that some startup can just spin up a new AI model and instantly replicate all that,
The data, the brand loyalty, the user psychology.
it's just not realistic. That decade-plus lead in data, community, and brand is incredibly hard, maybe impossible, to catch up to with AI alone.
And the current numbers back this up. No sign of users leaving for AI tools.
Zero sign. Von Ahn explicitly said no churn yet from AI competitors. Their subscriber numbers are soaring, DAUs accelerating, engagement is sky high. It proves the point. AI is an ally for Duolingo, an enhancement, not a threat. They're leading the way in integrating it, not being disrupted by it.
That's a really strong rebuttal to the AI bear case. Positioning AI as an accelerant, not a destroyer. It's all about how you use the tools.
Exactly. Intelligence and application.
Okay, let's pull this all together then. Give us the balanced view for our listeners. The bull case, why consider investing now? And the bear case, what are the real risks? Give us that clear, actionable financial summary.
Okay, let's crystallize the financial takeaway for you, the listener.
Oh.
The bull case for Duolingo. It's strong, it's multi-layered. We see it as an undervalued growth machine, right? Echoing that NVIDIA comparison. Operating in this huge growing market.
Right.
AI is an ally, not a threat. It's actually speeding up their expansion, like getting chess fully rolled out on Android in Q4 2025, hitting an even bigger audience. This whole platform potential is massive, aiming for that $300 billion TAM and personalized lifelong learning. That's fostering real skills, real economic empowerment globally.
And the valuation, you mentioned it was down.
Yeah, valuation looks attractive right now. The stock's down about 50% from its highs, trading around 28 times forward free cash flow.
Which is low for that kind of growth.
For a company delivering 40% plus revenue growth, 36% free cash flow margins, leading its massive market. Yeah, 28 times forward FCF looks significantly undervalued. That's why our price target is currently $500. That represents roughly 60% upside from where it is now.
$500 target, 60% upside. Okay, that's the bull case. Now be objective. What's the bear case? What are the real worries?
Absolutely. Always have to consider the risks.
Okay.
The main realistic worry is that AI does get so good it commoditizes basic translation, or maybe these powerful free LLM tutors do start peeling away some of the more casual users.
Yeah.
In a hypothetical worst-case scenario, maybe that cuts their growth rate in half. Maybe the stock drops towards, say, $200.
That's a significant drop.
It is, but, and this is the crucial qualifier for you, we see this as a low probability risk. Maybe 30% chance, tops.
Why low probability?
Because the fundamentals are just so strong. The data moat, the brand, the network effects, the execution, they're all intact. We're just not seeing any real-world evidence, no user churn, no slowdown to suggest this fundamental shift is actually happening right now.
Okay, so low probability, but acknowledge the theoretical risk. Any other risks?
Sure, the usual suspects, competition exists, Babbel, others. But Duolingo's virality and platform breadth seem to keep them ahead. Macro risks, like currency swings, since half their revenue is international, but they hedge against that. Execution risk, maybe a new subject launch flops, but their track record there is excellent.
Makes sense. What about catalysts, things that could drive the stock up?
Plenty of those. Short term, that full chess rollout on Android, adding more languages. Q3 earnings in October could easily bring a guidance raise, surprise the market.
Medium term.
Medium term, launching those big new subjects, science and coding, are expected in 2026. Plus, ongoing AI upgrades, making the platform even better.
In long term.
Long term, the vision is that fully integrated learning platform, maybe even ties into formal schools globally. They're aiming for $1 billion in revenue by 2028. That's the big picture.
So the takeaway for the listener, financially.
You've got a clear picture now. A compelling growth story, strong moat, elite execution, attractive valuation. That's the bull case. Balanced against a low probability but acknowledged AI risk. It frames Duolingo as a well-researched opportunity in a company with deep advantages and a powerful mission.
This has been absolutely brilliant. A really thorough deep dive. What we've clearly seen is Duolingo isn't just surviving this AI era, they're actively thriving. They're changing how we learn, turning education itself into this powerful tool for wealth building, for personal empowerment, for millions across the globe.
It's quite the transformation.
And for you listening right now, this isn't just about one company. It's a call to action, really. Rethink your strategies. Think about how you earn, how you invest. Consider ditching that wage trap that holds so many people back in these old, frankly, eroding systems.
Find the disruptors.
Find the disruptors. The company's changing the game. Do your own research. Obviously, always do your own research. But growth stories like DUOL, when you really dig in and understand them, they could genuinely be your ticket to more financial freedom, to building the future you want.
It's really fascinating to see how companies like this aren't just innovating with products. They're fundamentally decoding the future, aren't they? The future of how we gain knowledge, how we grow, how we reach new levels of personal and financial power. It's an ongoing story, and it's exciting to watch unfold.
Couldn't agree more. Thank you so much for that incredible insight today. Truly mind-opening, as always.
My pleasure. Always enjoy these discussions.
And for all of you listening, make sure you subscribe, follow the show, engage with us, join this revolution of empowered learning and investing. Until next time, invest smart, live free.